Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, good night, ladies and gentlemen of the world. Welcome to a scene for the living world of darkness, Changeling the Dreaming Venue. This day is a very important day. It's a very special day for our Lady Estrella Greyhawk, because today is her seining day. This is the day where she becomes a real member of Kithane's society, where she will learn about her past and gain her true name, where she pledges her loyalty to the crown. It starts early in the evening as Estrella has been told to expect an escort to her seining and
All
to
right.
dress fancy but comfortable.
So dressing like a dude. Got it.
In an earlier part of the eve, as right around 5:30, there is a knock on Estrella's freehold's door.
Not sure it perks up. For as much as she bragged and talked that good shit to Lainey about how she was like, oh, this ain't going to be a big deal. This ain't going to be a big deal. This is a big fucking deal. She'll walk, not quite somberly, but with a hint of, I suppose, apprehension. As she opens the door to see who's inside.
On the other side of the door is a gentleman. She very clean cut, short blonde hair, square glasses, definitely fancy. Think a she version of the Ventru from the revised Vampire the Masquerade book.
Oh, that artwork.
Yeah.
Love it. Okay. Love that venture.
So think that is standing in front of you. Ah, Lady Estrella Greyhawk.
She'll incline her head and she'll say, I'm sorry, you have me at a disadvantage, Lord.
Oh, my name isn't important. I am just a messenger. I am here to escort you to your seining.
Then lead the way. It's a pleasure to have you in my company.
Excellent. And he turns around and waves his hand, and you feel the winds of the dreaming shift and change, and there's a trod that opens in front of you. A portal that with a silver path that leads through a black night sky. Follow me, and don't step off the path.
Astria will nod. Somewhat surprised this motherfucker just opened up a trod. Like, when there wasn't one. She's super hype about that. But she'll let that die down a little bit as she walks on the path.
The path is a little strange. It feels like you're rising slightly. Like you take a few steps up and then you're moving forward, and you are traversing through a night sky.
All right.
And there are millions of stars in the sky. The whole area is lit by moonlight, and you look down and you cannot see the ground. But every so often you see stars blotted out, then reappear as if some shape has blocked them. Something large and massive. And he continues to walk, like, no big deal. And he just very kindly reminds you, there are monsters off the path. Stay on it.
Astria will nod. She's heard this a little bit before, multiple times actually. But she's still like, damn, all right. She keeps walking.
Uh, we have reached our destination. And in front of you there is a door, much like the door from Lord of the Rings, The Mines of Moira.
Mm-hmm.
He places his hand on it, and the door cracks open. And you are in the trod path. Once you step off of it, leads you to a foyer of a very large mansion.
Mm-hmm.
The home is decorated in silvers, blacks, and purples. You're not sure whose house this is, but they're obviously important.
Fair enough.
And he walks you over to, through the house. Give me a perception kenning.
Hey, there's 9. If it was higher than 6.
It's higher than 6.
Okay.
There's something familiar about this place. You can't put it. But that's all you get.
Okay.
And you are escorted into to another large oak door. Your seining shall commence once you step through these doors. You will learn a lot today. I don't know what you'll learn, but everybody learns something on Seining Day.
Right. Astria nods. Sans to mention, at the very least, Astria at this point. I did mention she was dressed as a dude.
Right.
She is straight up wearing noble attire for a male.
Yep.
I mean, she does her best to, make it look good, and it still does look all right.
Mm-hmm.
But, yeah. She's got her hair pulled back into a nice-looking ponytail. And if that is the sign that she should probably walk through the oak doors now.
Yep.
Then she will then walk through the oak doors.
You open the oak doors, and it is a large, kind of like a surgical theater, where you've got a lower floor and then an upper floor where people are gathered to watch. You cannot make out any faces, who's there, kiths. They're all backlit and obscured by shadows.
Okay.
On the lower part of the theater, as it were, where you're standing, there is a man in heavy, dark robes, bearing illuminated colors and some sort of symbol that you don't recognize.
Okay.
There are marks all along the ground, strange symbols that, again, you do not recognize.
Astria's gonna at the very least, try to commit these to memory so that way she can study up on them later.
Okay.
Although in the back of her mind, considering these are House-Eye Lunid symbols, good luck finding it.
Good luck remembering it. So, the man in the heavy robe motions for you to stand in the middle.
She go ahead and does.
Welcome to your saining day. Welcome to where you get your memories back. After this, you shall be complete, and you are expected to follow in your appropriate legacy. You have a plan, you have things that you must do, and now you have responsibilities to people, and the crown once this is completed. Are you prepared to begin?
Yes, Astria says with probably a surprising amount of resolve. Anything about her. She's been doing a lot of crazy shit as it is. She's at least she's at the very least confident in what she's confident in what she's going to do after this.
Mm-hmm. Okie dokie. So he begins to he chants something in a language that you can barely figure out, and the world kind of lists from side to side and spins a bit, and the next thing you realize you're coming to, you're a little dizzy, your mouth is dry, you smell pine. You definitely smell pine trees and moisture. Roll me remembrance.
Okay. Ooh, get it. Not sure what the diff was.
You, this is home. This is where your soul was first born. You put you look around and you realize you're in a carriage, maybe maybe one of the ones that's on being pulled by horses or being carried by men on their shoulders, and you put your hands on the window and you look out, and then you notice your hands are kind of a light brown, tan white.
Okay.
You hear people talking. It's a language you know, it's Romanian.
Yeah, she's heard a couple of different people speak it before. She doesn't understand it.
No, it makes sense to you.
Oh,
Okay.
This
is your tongue. This is your native tongue.
Okay.
You look around. There's no real mirror, so you can't see what your face looks like. But you are definitely white. You see in front of you on the other side of a carriage, there's a scroll case that is sealed with wax and bound with purple ribbon.
Okay. Um, does it look like it's for
You.
them? Okay. If they, because they don't know what gender they are at this point. In fact, if they can, they're gonna check.
Woman.
Okay. Then she will walk on over to the scroll.
You just kind of like reach across to the seat on the other side of the carriage.
All right. Yeah, she'll go ahead and do that. Since it is for her, she'll go ahead and open it as neatly as possible.
You undo the ribbon, and you break the seal and the scroll case. The scroll case kind of clicks open, and on the letter says, "Thank you, Lady Greyhawk, for your volunteer and service in transition and travel to the Caliphate for negotiations and peace treaties. We appreciate your service. You shall be rewarded uh, commiserately. Um, again, my deepest thanks, Lady LWoD."
As she kind of blinks a couple of times as she sees that. Oh God. Oh God, she knew Lady LWoD. She kind of fangirls a little bit.
Roll me wits intelligence.
Okay. 8 and 7.
Okay. With your Greymare score, this is putting your memory. This is putting you around 800 or so. Maybe 600 AD.
Okay, that makes sense. She's
Maybe
still.
maybe a
Oh,
little
sorry.
later. It's you really can't tell. You're you don't have enough clues.
Okay. She'll still be like, okay. She's trying to. She's her brain's in that rationalization mode, trying to take in as many of the external stimuli as she can. So she's like, okay, so even then, even at this point, I'm still a comparatively young Fae. Makes sense. She still can't get over the fact that she's white. Like, that's kind of honestly the biggest surprise to her.
Mm-hmm.
Is she?
And
Oh, sorry.
go ahead.
I was just gonna ask: is she still like dressed like a lady, or is she
She's dressed
still?
like a lady. She's
Wow.
like high lady.
All right.
Um, the carriage rocks back and forth for a little bit, and you get woozy. And the next thing that you feel is heat, warmth. The carriage is much hotter than you you remember it being a few minutes ago. You look out the you open up the curtain and look out the window, and it is blindingly bright. It it hurts your eyes for a few minutes, and you kind of peek in and out for a little bit uh, to get your eyes adjusted, and all you see for miles and miles and miles is sand.
Mm-hmm. Now, at this point, the Fae may have been more comfortable back in Romania. However, the humanity has very much latched on to trappings of Middle Eastern culture and that geography. The humanity is actually very much okay with this right now, at least from a rational point of view. But she'll look around, see if there's any mark to see where the next step is.
The carriage comes to a halt. And you hear people talking in a language you don't comprehend. And you...
Like, oh, it's not Arabic? Okay.
It's a language you currently don't comprehend.
All right. Oh. As the humanity remembers, this body doesn't know Arabic. Or English. I'm thinking in Romanian. Oh, God.
There is a knock on the carriage door. Lady Greyhawk, you must disembark from your carriage. It cannot travel the rest of the way.
Astria just she'll nod, and she'll start to step on out.
And you see, you've got trappings of your standard entourage. She, a boggin, and a troll. These are all things you are very used to, and standing in front of you are things you've never seen. There is a tall, slender, black man with marks along his chin. He is bald, dressed in very ornate garb, and next to him is a man who's wiry, his cheeks red, got these weird spirals on them, very pale for being in the desert. The black man speaks in a very deep voice in a language you don't understand, and bows deeply towards you.
Mm-hmm.
The little man with the rosy red cheeks and the pale face says, "The good Lord..." Damn it, I lost my page with his name. "Welcomes you to the Ishu Caliphate."
It is good to receive such a warm welcome here from my lord, such dedicated subjects. In the back of her head, she's going, "Oh my God, did I say that right?"
He speaks to the little man with the little pale man. Looks over to the larger, looks over to the Ishu. This is the first time you've actually seen one. They are strange. They are alien to you. This is the first time you've ever seen an Ishu. Ever.
Huh. Okay. Then, fuck. She's gonna do a typical she check in the back of her head. Does he look like a noble?
Big outfit, bright colors, kind of flowy.
Yeah.
Probably.
Tacky noble, but a noble nevertheless. Second thing she's gonna check, so make sure this none of the things you're gonna try and kill her. Can she fight? Like, she's not swinging or anything like that, obviously, but
You roll remembrance.
it's a 6.
Combat was not your forte.
What? Oh, damn. Astrid now is somewhat worried because now, like, well, no, actually. She's worried, but at the same time, she is relieved. Julian is good at fighting. That is his thing. That is my thing now. Which I appreciate. She kind of enjoys the influence that humanity has had on her. But she kind of quickly snaps out of it and gets back to the moment right now.
Please, your carriage will not make it through the desert. We will provide you transportation. And
well.
things kind of go black. And you are standing in front of... Let's see if I can find... I can find my good picture of it. Here's an excellent picture. Ba-ba-da. Gonna save that. Because most of my images vanished. This is what you see. This is the palace you were standing in front of. It is yellow and bronze, flecks of gold. And as you approach, massive double doors open up. And there is another man. This man is taller, a little heavier. And this one in the back of your head definitely screams noble. Although his attire is strange, his stance and gestures are foreign and alien to you. You recognize that this is the person in charge. This is the big guy.
Okay. All right.
Ah, welcome, welcome, welcome. Please come in.
She'll throw up her smile and start to walk on in. And once if she hits a respectable distance away, she'll curtsy against Julian's better nature
Mm-hmm.
Julian kind of smacks himself for it in the back of his head, but he's like, "This is just what's happening. Go with it. It's fine."
And you walk through the doors, and again the world fades to black. And then you look around, and you're sitting at a large ornate table, and smells that you have never smelled, so foreign and strange, wafting through the air. You see plates of food put up in front of you, each covered in an ornate dish, jugs of wine, and various other things. The smell of fine tobacco and fruits. And you are being treated to quite the excellent dinner. There are huge. There are a number of people here. All of them, again, speaking that language that you've heard now a number of times, but you still don't understand.
Okay.
Um, roll me remembrance.
Get it.
Diff 4.
3 successes.
Okay. You know you are here on a diplomatic mission for trade, for negotiations to open the way, and you have brought gifts from the homeland.
All right. And so she will, if it looks like there is an open place, like an open time for her to, speak and
Right.
start, making a bit of a show.
Mhm.
Because noble, she still has to do it. Even though her humanity is like, she'll be like,
The longer
oh,
this goes on, the quieter Julian becomes.
okay, that's fair. Because at the same time, Astria has kind of grown exceptionally fond of Julian. She'll do the standard thing where you take like a utensil and tap it against your drink cup or whatever, hoping that it makes a loud enough noise, and then she will say, "So, friends and new acquaintances, I know that I am here on a far more official task, but where I'm from and in my experience in a lot of people's homeland, it is very customary to bring gifts, especially for such a gracious house guest." And she will kind of clap her hands to kind of indicate, bringing the gifts and stuff.
Right. A couple of the retinue that have traveled with you walk in, and several of them carry fabrics, um, pillows, things with she symbology on it. There is some mead, wines from the homeland. Things of predominantly Teutonic and like Norwegian descent. Far strange gifts for these. And the big man who is in charge, who's every time he says his name, it falls from your memory. Thank you, thank you. Now we can get to business and discuss trade and things kind of as the details of the conversation go on. They kind of mutter and blur and fade out. The next thing you come to, you're walking through an ornate door into a courtyard, and there is a bit of rabble going on. Route, you can't understand what's going on, but somebody is definitively not happy, and a group of them are not happy, and they are voicing this unpleasant and unhappiness at the man who met you at the border.
If the man that met Astrid at the border is, if he can see her, Astria is kind of she's looking at him, and it's looking as if she's asking permission to come and see what's up.
There is a look, and you definitely you don't get that you are being turned away.
Astria really praying that this isn't about her. First of all, she's just gonna. It's gonna sound odd. She's gonna check her muscles real quick. Are they about the size of Julian's?
Not at all.
Oh, this was a dainty bitch. Okay.
Definitively not a fighter.
Wow. All right.
Roll me remembrance.
It's a 7.
Consummate spellcaster, though.
Okay. I can roll with that. Because even if Julian's quiet, Astria is still comparing her situation then to her situation now. Mm-hmm. She's like, at least I have the magic.
Consummate spellcaster. And you approach the scene, and a group of the mob turns to face you, and they begin to yell and scream. These are definitely obscenities. and you can tell they mean you harm.
Astria, still somewhat not quite confident in herself, considering she doesn't have her typical martial prowess to back her up. However, she is going to fucking hope and pray upon the social graces that she has earned, that she thinks she has here. And so all she does is she tilts her head to the side. She doesn't even cast cantrip at this point. However, she's hoping that the amount of magic that she has creates such a profound effect that they should probably realize that they need to back the fuck up. Basically, she's trying to punk these dudes out.
Right. So there's a swirl of glamour and energy around you, and some of these men are not afraid, and one lashes out at you, and before you even realize what's happened, you have pointed a finger at them and you have said stop, and the entire group has frozen still. And the man who met you at the border looks shocked. Doesn't know what's going on, but the ones about to attack you have ceased to move.
Astria feeling like this is probably the most merciful thing she could have done to this group of people.
For they are foreign savages.
Oh, well, I mean, in her mind, it's not even just that. It was roll up on me. Let's get it. This is well, there's probably a bit of a conflict between this old Astria, this she, and then the one that's been completely tainted by like modern values and whatnot, as well as Julian's influence. Actually, the modern Astria feels super bad. She thinks that there probably would have been a better way to do it other than Sovereign, or whatever the equivalent of it was. So at this point, I suppose, like, rather than she's going to feel like quite a bit of regret with herself, because she knows how these things tend to go.
And the man who met you at the border ushers you away from the scene. The angry men in the group, standing still. And as you exit through the doors, you wave your hand and you can start to hear them speak. And there is terror in their voice. And the world kind of goes black. And then you find yourself sitting in very lush accommodations, large pillows, a chair, the room smelling of flowers and tobacco, several hookahs around you. all of them lit. And the larger Ishu gentleman sitting in front of you and absolutely bewildered and intrigued about the power you possess. Roll remembrance.
All right. Yeah.
So, very confidently, you speak to him of Sovereign and of Primal. But he seems most interested in this particular art.
Mm.
And he mentions that he, too, is a master of words and the power they bring. But very different. And he offers a trade.
Hmm. What's the? Hmm. Does she have enough remembrance to know if this is a good idea or not?
No, you don't have enough remembrance. But
Okay.
you agree.
All right.
The Ilunid and you cannot turn down such an offer.
Fair enough.
So we fade to black. And then you wake up again. And this time, it is... You recognize this. This is later. This is much later from the last conversation. You are... As you walk, you feel a little lighter of foot. You've... It is not as warm here as it was initially. Roll me a remembrance.
Okay.
This is a number of years later.
Checks her muscles again.
Still not a fighter.
Modern Astria is like almost having a seizure in her head. Actually, one thing she is going to check. Is she Seelie or unseelie?
She's currently Seelie.
Okay.
And you walk around and you are navigating a small palace, much like the one that you were in before, but much smaller and very familiar. So, this is yours?
The modern Astria kind of looks around. Is this like the freehold?
Maybe? Maybe? And
Okay.
you hear yelling and screaming from down the hall. And it is older, heavier voice. You're It is that man from that heavier man whose name escapes you. And he is hollering and screaming and all kinds of angry. He has called you by name.
She'll come on out.
And he speaks very rapidly about the violation of the treaty, the broken agreements, how this is an act of war, brought military forces and not upheld your end of the bargains. And he spits at the ground in front of you. You hear him say that you have 3 days to get those things, and he waves his hand wildly out of the area, or out of the caliphate. And very coldly, you go, they are in my territory. Land that was given to me by you in negotiations. They are welcome here, as this land is mine. And then there was... Then there's a lot of fast-moving words that you cannot catch. But you realize he was speaking in that foreign tongue, and you were speaking in that foreign tongue. This is an older kind of Proto-Arabic. So it's kind of making sense.
Modern Astria is kind of relieved that they're speaking words that she knows now. Although she is worried about the things that she needs to get. How'd she fuck up? She thinks to herself. Maybe someone else fucked up.
Roll remembrance. Diff on this is 9.
Ooh, ooh, give me what you want. Give me what you want, Mr. Austin.
Oh boy! You did nothing wrong. You were acting as an appropriate leader within your right. You did no such thing to violate any treaty. You don't know what he is talking about, and he's just full of hot air.
Cultural differences, I guess.
And the scene fades, and you come to, and you are standing at the topmost balcony of your small palace. around you, part of the desert is on fire. There are mythical beasts, things you have never seen before and can't fully comprehend. There are strange contraptions, and you are standing and looking down over this battle. And you start to see torches light in blue flame around your broken castle. And you take out a small dagger and you slice open your thumb and you draw on the ground what appears to be a strange rune that is somewhere between Arabic and a traditional Norse rune. And when you do, you speak a word that is lost to you. And the entire castle is illuminated in these runes. The sandstorm and fires that are being flung at your castle just dissipate when they hit the walls. Roll me remembrance.
Okay. 778.
This is one of those powers that words bring, that the old man was speaking about. Roll me wits Greymare. Or, no, intelligence Greymare, I'm sorry.
Okay.
Do. Due to your specialty, you know that this is one of the powers of naming.
Holy God. Monastery is like, oh my God, I fucking knew naming. What the shit?
And one of your, what you recognize as trusted generals, walks up to you and presents you with a blade, and he asks it for your blessing. And in your blood you inscribe runes down the blade, along the pommel and the handle, and they glow vibrantly. And you present it back. Use this when you strike down, and that name escapes you. You say it, but it doesn't register. And the land shall be ours, just as commanded.
And then Monastery gets a certain amount of horror. Oh my God. I never protected them. I conquered them. Or at least tried to.
And the scene goes dark. And you wake up again. And this time, there's a smell of ash. Burnt ichor and flesh. Copper as you walk through the palace. And you get this twinge behind you as there is a surge of magic. And you go to turn and you hear a voice, and it stops you cold. It's a female voice, older woman, very noble. You have done so well. You have done everything I ordered you, everything I asked of you, and more. Roll me remembrance. That's Lady Ilunid behind you.
Oh my god! Astria.
And so I can't have you leave. This is your territory, so you must stay here. And you feel that crushing weight of a gas dropped on you. You shall raise a family, and you shall be our presence in the now shattered caliphate. You will stay here until such time as we come home.
Astria, modern Astria now is getting underneath all of the horror and oh my god, I fucking shattered them. She is coming home as she tries to figure out what year this is.
No clues. Things go dark, and you can tell it's a number of years later. You are on your next body in your next life, still in your palace. Your skin is a little darker. Your hair a little thicker. And then it blinks too, and then this continues 10, 15 times, and every time your skin gets a little darker and you are morphing slowly from your dream self is shifting from the dreams of high European nobility to the dream of local nobility, of what a sultana would look like.
Modern Astria keeps checking through every life and she's like, oh my god, can I fight yet, please? In the back of her head.
Every so often you get one You've got about 2 lives who you realized were fairly scrappy.
Yeah, buddy. She likes those.
You were entirely female in every one of your lives.
Okay.
It's one thing, even though you became darker skinned and more regionally appropriate with each iteration or body change. And then you hear it. The sound of doors closing. And it echoes throughout your body. And you realize now is the time. I must go. This world is no longer safe. Science and reason are taking over. And you flee to Arcadia.
Has her court stayed the same?
From time to time. And then you hear it. The unlocking of doors. The time is now. And where did Estrella find Julia?
A Renaissance fair. A Renaissance fair midday. She was with, well, he was with.
Where did Estrella find Julian? So there he is. The gates are open now. This is the perfect time. This is the place. I'm no longer bound to that land. That one. I choose him as my vessel. And you see this ghostly ephemeral hand reach out to touch the back of Julian's shoulder. And you wake up and you are in the middle of that room.
Astra wakes. If she's back in the room with the surgical table and all that, she wakes up sweating profusely. Her heartbeat is astronomically high. And she kind of looks around. Well, that was surprising.
Do you now understand who you are?
She'll blink a few times. And she'll say, there's still so much I don't get. The things that I did before, why did I do them? Maybe I'm just comparing who I am now with who I was before. But all I can say is I know who I am right now.
We hope that you will remember your deals. And there's a smile from the man under the robe. And you can't see it, but you can feel it. And it's one of those, oh, this is bigger. This is a lot bigger than I was expecting it to be.
Yeah. Astrid is like, holy God.
Rise and present yourself, Baroness Greyhawk. Join the ranks of the Kingdom of Concordia. Be the grand leader and general you were meant to be. Bring forth those secrets once again. There are those out there who would wish to destroy our nation, and we cannot allow that.
Modern Astria, or rather Astria, there's nothing to compare herself to now. She thought that she was going to be much more. She expected herself to be a lot more broken up about the whole conquering of, and shattering of the Ishu Caliphate. However, there are a few notable things that are keeping her reaction from being nearly as drastic as it was, or as it would have been. One, she's in Sealy right now. And two, well, even Julian understood what it meant to assert yourself through force. And she'll look up to this guy. And she will say, I'm just doing what I can to help.
Excellent. And then they will pull you through the pomp and circumstances of re-swearing allegiance to the house, re-swearing allegiance to the Kingdom of Concordia, to the throne of High King David, yada, 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 yada. It's 45 minutes of fealty swearing, of standing and kneeling, kind of like going to mass. And then they turn to the double doors, and then the man looks to those gathered around shadowed figures in the upper deck. I present to you Baroness Estrella Greyhawk, the Kingdom of Apples, the Kingdom of Concordia. And there's roaring and cheering. And with that, we will call the scene. And then we get to go to the presentation and drinks and parties, and you get to go deal with those ramifications.
Yep.
Thank you, player, for playing. Thank you, watchers, for watching. I love it when we have live watchers. It's so much fun. Night, everybody.